The power dynamics, I think, won't change particularly. Power is a really interesting thing in this play, I think. And it's fairly evenly distributed as well. It's yes and no, really. I think that there would be a change which we couldn't have shown to you through the monologue. Because I think that the monologue itself, because it's on such a small scale and it takes that character in isolation, you know, I'm not responding to anyone. It's just me and that character. I don't think it will affect power dynamics, but it may affect the general sort of scene-to-scene composition. And that will, I think, be more prominent on a larger scale than on a macro sort of monologue level.
I think it does matter with Portia. I think a lot of the things that happen in her life and a lot of her storyline happen because she is a woman. I think that is a really interesting thing to play around with when you're swapping the gender of the character. It's definitely something that you would have to make a lot of informed and educated choices on in regards to The Merchant of Venice, because it is about religion and it is about that part of history, and I think it very much does belong to the time that it was written in, which is maybe why we don't see a lot of modern adaptations of it.
The big change, I guess, is the relationship or implied relationship with Hamlet becoming homosexual rather than heterosexual, but there's nothing in the play that stops that. It's purely not written like that. It doesn't break the play by that happening. It has implications for the family dynamics with Ophelia and Polonius and Laertes. Polonius is this kind of quite controlling father. Laertes is able to escape that as a little bit as a man. Ophelia not so much. So maybe that works less. But I mean, there are, in terms of it being, you know, reflective of a 17th century society, maybe that works slightly less. But it's not. Again, it doesn't break the play at all.
I think the most obvious gender dynamic shift in this scene, with me playing Rosalind as a man, is doubling down on the homosexual subtext, with Rosalind kind of indirectly proposing marriage to Orlando, and so it's something I've related to, having been in the closet and as a gay man. So it's something I really like playing into and found something that was nice to invest in the scene. I think Shakespeare was showing that Rosalind as a woman has so much power, more power than any of the male characters in the play. But I think maybe now with me playing it as a man, me playing a woman as a man who's in male disguise as Ganymede, but then Ganymede assumes the role of Rosalind, there is so much gender play that perhaps maybe the meaning shifts, that this sort of logic and these problem-solving abilities aren't inherent to gender and just the individual, and that Rosalind is just a very capable person, male or female.